Welcome back, my artist friends and YouTubers. It's a two-part plan for this lesson. Okay, so welcome back to day 2 of Rhythm Robots, and today it's going to be about color. First thing, if you haven't Sharpied your artwork, I would highly recommend doing that first. That way we can focus on color. So the most important thing with color is to have a plan. There are so many different plans that professional artists have used. I want to introduce you to the most common ones, okay? So number 1 is called monochromatic. Monochromatic means you choose one color only and you add black and white to one color. The closest thing I have to monochromatic is this. Even this is not monochromatic. This is actually an artwork that I created. It has a different kind of plan that's very similar, and that is called analogous. Analogous is when you use almost one color, but you end up using 2 or 3 colors that are next to each other on the color wheel. So in this case, in this artwork, I actually used these colors mixed with white and black. Okay, but I also used an analogous plan, which is 3 colors next to each other, to do this artwork: greens, yellows, and oranges. Okay, it can be a pretty strong artwork if you know how to use white and black. This is also an analogous artwork. The next one is 3 colors, and this is called a triad. 3 distinctly separate colors, and a lot of times when artists use 3 distinctly set of colors, it's the hardest one, I think, to master, but it can be very vibrant. A lot of times they use this in elementary school classrooms and little kid type toys. The primary colors, they're very cheerful and bright, but it's really easy to mess up. My tip on triad color plans is that you make 1 or 2 of the colors dominant. So you'll have red and blue dominant and just a tiny eensy bit of yellow to pop. So that's called a triad. My favorite plan is called complementary or split complementary. They're close to the same thing. That is what I use the most. It's the most fail-safe method, and I'll show you some examples of that. So here's an example of a complementary artwork, and it uses the opposite of blue to do the color plan, and you may not even tell that it does that because it's just a really, what would look like on any other artwork, a very ugly color in the background. But it's a perfect color for this artwork. Once you master that, I'll show you the split complementary plan, which is basically the same thing, only you pick 2 colors on the opposite side to use. Okay, I have those in class if you want to use them. Here's another example of a split complementary color plan one, where I'm using yellow greens, reds, and purples. Yellow greens, reds, and purples. It's a little more complicated, but it gets super vibrant colors. These 2 mix well together to make the majority of the artwork, and then this color on the opposite side is what is used to make the color, or make the artwork colors pop. This is actually split complementary, but the background, most people would think that it's gray, but when I teach you to see like an artist, you'll notice that the colors are actually red, mainly red and orange for the robot, for my Trashinator 2.0, and then the background is when you mix red and green and make this color. So that's my favorite plan, is probably the complementary, or aka split complementary color plans. So you make your choice. These are the most common ones people use. I would probably choose, if I were you, I would choose between these 2 plans: analogous or complementary, or split complementary. And what you're going to need to get started are 7 things. So here they are. Are you ready? Number 1, we need our paint. Number 2, we need a paper towel or 2. 1 or 2, not 10. Number 3, I'll probably get a spray bottle to activate my paints. I may not pass those out. Number 3. This would be number 4, is you need a flat and a round paintbrush and possibly a detail brush if we have one. Number 5 is a water bucket. Number 6 is a wet wipe to clean up. And number 7 is to wear an art shirt. Quick. I'm going to try to do a complementary or a little bit of a split complementary plan. And I've already showed you red and green with one of my examples. I've already showed you red, orange, and blue-green. So I think I'm going to try to switch it to like a blue violet and a yellow orange for this project to see how it turns out. And that's what I have over here. That's the other reason. So I'm going to get my paints wet, and right on my tabletop at school, since we don't have a mixing tray, I would just start by mixing your layers. So we want to have our layers of yellow, green, and blue, and then in the middle I want you to make the ugliest color you can by mixing the yellow, green, and blue in the middle and getting some blends. See, that's starting to turn into a green. But let's get our muted colors in there. Okay, so what I try to do is I try to mix my brightest yellows with my purplish blue. I had to borrow a little purple from over on this side right here to create this purple right here. So what I did is I tried to make the ugliest color I possibly could in the middle. That's the magic right there. That's the magic color, because that's what's going to tie the whole artwork together. So remember not to tap your brush, but to slide your brush. I'm going to use this ugly color, most likely for my background.
Let's get started.
Okay, so I'm trying to get a little bit of a, there's two things you can do for the background. A fade, which is when you go with one color and fade it with just adding water to it. Or you can do a blend where you add one color on one side, one color on the other, and you blend them on top, overlap on top of each other like I'm doing here. This color is pretty ugly in the background. And guess what? I love it. Okay, now what I'm going to do is work on my robot. So I'm going to maybe use a smaller brush. What I want to do is focus on one half of the robot at a time. I'm going to use the tip of the brush and use my darkest possible color I have on the side, same side, the right hand side. And I'll start with the male robot. What I'm going to do now, before it dries, it has to have that shiny look. If you can see that, when it still has that shiny look, I'm going to rub the brush off so it's not soaking wet. And I'm going to touch the tip of it and let it spread. Look at this. Look at that. Look at that. Look how the water just does what it's supposed to do. I love it. I love when a plan comes together, my friends, and it does what it's supposed to do. Okay, now let's try out the brighter color. I want to see how this looks with the girl robot. Oh, got a mistake. It's going outside the lines. That's what your paper towels are for. Okay. So now, before it dries, I'm going to get this not soaking wet, but damp, and touch the edge. Try to leave. If you're really good, I want you to try to leave a little bit of white in your artwork. Here's another tip: don't leave it just solid purple, and don't leave this a solid yellow. You wanna add a little bit of the reflections in there as well. Okay, now for my final step, what I'm probably going to do is this looks kind of, there's something missing to me. Just doing yellow and bluish purple. I think what I'm going to do is try to find a little bit of an orange color, because I don't have any orange color. I'm going to do something bright orange too. And that's going to be my final step, is to do a split complementary plan.
0, 1. Let's get started.
And there you have it, boys and girls. Thanks for watching. We have our split complementary square trapezoid type robot and rounded trapezoid type robot for kind of a masculine and feminine take on robotic design, using that rhythm and using the complementary color plan. I hope you guys learned something. It's getting late and I'm ready to see you guys tomorrow. Have a great night.